Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the 1999 classic, presented here in its oldest and clunkiest incarnation on the PS1. I specifically sought this version out because I wanted to show off the least feature-rich version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that ever existed. The way it existed back when people first got their hands on it. It's certainly how I first played this game, and it's how I best remember this particular game, even though it's been remade several times at this point. I wanted to show off this one. Also, it helps that it's very, very cheap. Here are the 10 original skaters who have appeared in all of the numbered Tony Hawk games. And probably most, if not all, of the future games, but yeah, the series focuses on these folks. And especially Tony Hawk himself, who will be the focal character of this playthrough. Let's get right into him. His default board is the best one we have unlocked so far, but as we get the tapes throughout the levels, we will unlock new boards, which automatically unlocks higher skill values. That's how we upgrade our skill points. It's all automatic as we go through the game and actually get the collectibles. Now we have the option of deciding how sensitive our turning is, and I find the loose option here to be by far the best as far as facilitating control of this game. Wheel color is just for fun. Let's make it look like vomit for no good reason. There is, for the record, a darkness to this game and its creators, but most of this video will be focused on the positive and having a good old time with a good old game. I'll have a section much later on at the end of the video where I will give you appropriate content warnings before we get into that nastiness. But for now, Woodland Hills, the warehouse level, the first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater level. Very long loading screen used efficiently here to tell us what our tape challenges are. We're going to need ultimately 15,000 points, but we'll get another tape at 5,000 points. Smash the boxes and get skate, 2 collectible goals, and the hidden tape. Pretty simple stuff. Unfortunately, I do have to start off with the bad news. We need to turn off the licensed soundtrack. Perhaps the most iconic aspect of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I'll be replacing it with the soundtrack to the video game Charlie Murder, which I feel fits rather nicely because it is also punk rock, and it is also designed to be played over video game footage. It should suffice. It's not ideal, but we'll live with it. Right now, I'm living in sullen silence because I am adding the soundtrack in later. Tony Hawk, of course, is a vertical-oriented skater. Thus, grinds are not a thing I'll be focusing on. And I much prefer the vert-style gameplay to doing grinds and whatnot. By the way, we've done 3 of the 5 goals already. That should be 4. Thank you. And in no time flat, we'll be up to 5. This is an extremely easy introductory level. So we'll show off some Tony Hawk specials. That one right there. We'll do it again. 360 flip to mute. The mute is interesting because it was renamed in the most recent remake of this game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, back late in 2020, because it was called the mute originally, after its creator, who is a deaf skater, i.e. a individual who did not speak, and thus they just named the move the Mute. And Tony Hawk decided that was kind of offensive. He reached out to that skater and decided to rename the move the Weddle, after the individual himself, Chris Weddle. He chose that new name for the skill. So, luckily we can't just do the Mute in this game, but in future games, you can do a Mute whenever you feel like it, only it doesn't exist anymore. It's called the Weddle. Fun fact. That's our first level out of the way. Definitely don't need to save, and won't be saving throughout this entire run, because saving takes a very long time. It's a PS1 game. Very fun introductory level. All it needs to be is bare bones, because it's the first level in the first game. People are just figuring out for the first time how to experience the Tony Hawk gameplay. Not to harp too much on comparisons to the Twisted Metal series, but Twisted Metal 1, the first level, is a one-on-one little showdown in a tiny little warehouse level. And yeah, that's a good way to start off a game series. Or what you hope will someday become a series. As both of these games did. The school here, another simple level. Much more complicated than the warehouse, but still very, very manageable. I could do all the goals in a single heat, or allotted 2 minutes, or rather I could have, had I not screwed up grinding the table so many times. But I was planning on doing several runs here, because there's actually a lot to show off in this level. A lot of optional junk that you would have no good reason to see. We will real quick finish off another goal, and then we will marvel at that screen over there. They are playing a music video for whatever song is currently on the soundtrack. I can tell it's Superman by Goldfinger. So it's a damn shame we can't hear it, but that is an excellent part of this game's presentation, is they play clips from music videos and live performances of the artists actually doing their song, as well as skating footage. It's such an excellent addition to this game's presentation. Really, really impressive. Obviously much more so when you can actually hear the soundtrack, but still worth showing off. And very, very praiseworthy. I love that part of this game. Those music videos, very, very cool. We unlocked a new level, but we've got plenty more to do here at the school. So right from the beginning, go off this way this time, and head back here, where they've got these dumpsters and garbage cans. And we can grind on them for no good reason. Yeah. And then there's a actually very useful half-pipe back here. Rather, it would be useful if the pools actually in the required section did not exist. Because the pools are even better for grinding score. But this half-pipe here, also very cool, and, you know, it would be useful if it were in a necessary section of the level, which it is not. Most people would never have any reason to go back there. I certainly never did when I played this game. I was surprised to find that it even existed. It is a hidden area. And over here, we'll find the path to the hidden tape. Here we go. accidentally did one of my diagonal skills there. We have skills or tricks on each of the 4 directions, and also on each diagonal. And the diagonal ones are worth a lot more points, but they have much longer animations. Just ridiculously long animations on those things. So you need a lot of air if you're going to do one of the diagonal tricks. Also, vert skaters like Tony Hawk here, they have a different set of diagonal tricks from street skaters. Just to add extra animations, I guess. I believe that's the album cover to the Suicidal Tendencies album, Freedom. That is a band that appears on this game's soundtrack. But we still have the Pro Score tape to get. And another secret area to check out, because why not? If you approach this garage door, you can enter a gymnasium. And get the bonus 500 points, and waste it by crashing. Bonus point pickups are, I believe, removed from all future versions of this game. And I don't think they appear in any other Tony Hawk game. They found better things for you to acquire while wandering around the various levels. Did a wall ride there, just to show off that it exists. It probably should not exist, I think. It's totally useless in this game. It gets improved in future games, and then implemented in such a way that you actually have to do it, for better or worse. Another thing that most people who play this game probably wouldn't know exists is that, the hand plant. We can do a lip trick in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. Only that one is doable, though. In future games, the entire lip trick system would be vastly improved. But not here. Bare minimum in this game. Manuals were supposed to be in this game, but weren't. They ran out of development time before they could implement them. Just as well, I think. I am gonna have to do some specials here. If I am to... do I already have the Pro Tape? What am I missing here? Maybe I'm a few points short. Yep, just barely made it in the last second, because I wasn't paying enough attention. But all's well that ends well there. We have completed another level, which means we're off to one that I never particularly liked. The Mall in New York. It's a downhill style level. We'll be going from a higher location to a lower one, which means we will have one chance to get many of the goals we just saw. Once we fly past something, we can't really turn around to go get it. Not without wasting too much time to actually reasonably get it. Getting the 2 collectible goals here, all in a single run, it's usually pretty manageable. That was the route to the hidden tape. Kind of murdering the score goals purely by accident here. I don't think I'm gonna get the pro score goal. Although I do have a full minute remaining. So, maybe. Oh, I know the one I missed. That's fine. No problem at all. Guess that means we'll be coming back here, so I'll get the pro score when I do that. Meanwhile, we'll look over here at the box for the video game Apocalypse, starring Bruce Willis. Neversoft's game before they made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. To the best of my knowledge, it did not come in a box that size. That sort of thing puts Earthbound to shame. And Apocalypse did not have quite the same audience that Earthbound does. So, let's get that collectible goal. Smash the directories. That's fine. I wanted to show off Thrasher Records and a screen behind the stairwell here that you'd have no good reason to see. The sign for Dumpster Burger, which is otherwise a completely blank storefront. And Scarbutt Coffee, alluding to the fact that skaters tend to injure their posteriors in skating accidents with considerable frequency. So the one directory we missed is up here, actually. I've already missed another directory, so that's great. I'm nailing it. So right here, and then the one we missed is back here, over a long series of gaps that are needlessly difficult to pull off. Definitely not the ideal way to get that directory. I overcompensated for the fact that I overshot that first pull last time. There's Hawk's Skate Shop, that you might actually see at a mall. The delightfully named Butt Buster videos over here. Probably would not see that at a mall. I imagine actual game rental stores cost this game quite a lot of sales, because there's not a ton of content here. Another one squeaking in right out of the wire. But yeah, this game was an ideal rental. You could pretty much get a full game's money's worth from a single night's rental. There was a lot of obtuse stuff that they tried to, test your knowledge and your ability to explore a level before they let you have the prize you sought. Now, back here by the fountain, we have Boards Be Us. That's behind us here. Done in the Toys R Us font, but not the Toys R Us colors. And skid mark cards, a reference to Hallmark cards. And Pizza Face is the only other real notable business in the area. There's a bookstore, there's a drugstore, there's Sporkers over here. And that's all the businesses. Just wanted to take a good clean look at them, because they will be changed in the, one of the remakes, which I intend to look at. Getting real close to the score goal, I think. The final one that we need. And it should do it. Job well done. Spent longer than most people do there at the mall, but had to show off those storefronts. Now that that's out of the way, we can roll right along to our first competition in Chicago. Competitions are required to switch up the style of gameplay here, but they're kind of pointless. They're really the same as goal-based levels, but they've got the veneer of being like a boss fight. Bailing at all costs you a lot of points, or the final judge's score will be impacted quite a bit. And I don't care. Would have been impressive had I not fallen and died there. Yeah, this run is disastrous. So I'm actually gonna go back up to the rafters, play around with them some more. It is possible to fly all the way over the rafters. Let's see if I can do that. Nope. It's rather hard to do the nollie, which gets you additional air, and hold forward so that you fly out of the quarter pipe. Very, very precise to do all that in a single jump. Flying too close to the sun, doing a diagonal move and an additional move on top of it. Get a gap for jumping into the half pipe. Now let's actually do our requisite score grinding. We should be fine for first place on this heat. But not on the overall competition, because my first heat was that bad. Of course, your worst heat will be dropped, so we'll be fine, but we do have to do the third heat. It otherwise would not have been necessary, but alas, it's only a minute long. One last go around through Chicago, and then we will be out of here. Yes, I am trying to get back up to the rafters, even though I already showed off how to get up there. Ooh, I went over the rafters and on the rafters in a single combo. Judges love that one. Let's try one more thing. Yeah, unwise to attempt that, but Tony Hawk, and only Tony Hawk, has a fourth special, which is, of course, the 900. Just obliterating my score at the end there, but we still got gold. Doesn't matter. So Tony Hawk is much easier to play than the other characters if you know what his specials are. Only one of his specials is listed in the game manual, so you'd have no good reason to know what his specials are. It's actually kind of a frustrating thing about this game. Each character has 3 specials, and only one of them is in the game manual. So you just have to experiment to try and figure out the other ones. And the potential different inputs that could be a special are very numerous. Because each special is performed by pressing 2 directions and then one of the face buttons. And it's possible for those 2 directions to be the same one. It could be like left, left square, or right, right circle. Which means a preposterous number of possibilities that you have to test out with each character you try out. Very frustrating. 7 of the 12 characters in this game have a flip special, which is always performed by either up-down circle or down-up circle. So that's always a good one to try out if you're trying to figure out what the hell your specials are. But yeah, I'm not thrilled about the obfuscation of information in this game. That's another way they artificially tried to force people to buy the game rather than rent it, so that they would have to drag things out, experiment non-stop, just press all sorts of buttons. There's our 2 collectible goals, and across from us, the hidden tape. We could actually probably get the score goals here, but we do require 40,000 points to get the last one, and I still don't have high enough stats to land that 900. Even when you have maxed out stats, the timing is very, very, very difficult. So we showed off all the secret areas. All we need to show off still is the pro score. And yeah, it's worth mentioning, the layout of this level is very absurd. It's so video gamey. Minneapolis does not look like this. Never has. Perhaps it never will. I'm starting to lose hope. As much as I'd like for the entire city of Minneapolis to be a skate park. There we go, the big-ass glass gap, which is technically 2 gaps, giving you quite a high multiplier if you trick your way in there. And you can also grab a 500-point pickup while doing that. You can actually get a very, very high combo if you don't fall and die. There's also rails you can grind in here. It's a weird little area. I mostly use it for the half pipe. The rooftop is actually even better for score grinding, but this section is more convenient than going all the way to the rooftop. Just gotta get our special meter up, then do some specials. Ah, brutal. Well, with how long it's gonna take to get our special up, not really gonna get anywhere this run. That's what the retry button's for. That is an option I have used many, many times while practicing this game. While we're here, we'll grind this rail, or perhaps not. We will attempt to grind it. Let's see. Here we go. It's not terribly useful, but it does exist. Can't argue with that. Didn't quite make it in there for our double gaps. Aside from adding a multiplier, gaps are pretty pointless in this game. In future Tony Hawk games, they'll be required parts of the game progression. Or at least have important unlockables attached to them. Keep trying to get the most out of that gap. At this point, I gotta really focus on getting that score up, lest I waste another run. Like I said, very easy with Tony Hawk, because he's got so many specials. All of your skills deteriorate in point value as you do them repeatedly. But when you have 3 vertical specials, that doesn't really matter. You can just keep letting them deteriorate. Just retire them as they lose their value. Ugh. I'm so close. That should do it. Finally a use for the hand plant. It's a guaranteed 1,000 points. Ah, there's a secret ramp. If we get 6 more tapes, that should inexplicably tell us where the ramp is. Can't even imagine what information is on these tapes. I accidentally selected retry, which is going to give us a few lengthy loading screens, but otherwise, we can head right back to the level select. And move on to the downhill jam. Maybe selecting retry was a subconscious attempt to not have to go to this level. This is a rough one. It's not that it's bad, it's that it has parts that are extremely difficult. It's a gigantic spike in difficulty. Pretty much out of nowhere. I've already blown one of the valves I have to hit. Uh-oh. And I'm missing a K now. So yeah, this is a level where you can spend a lot of time. Then we gotta go back, head up this way. Bail immediately, but that's fine. I actually wanted to have my speed down so that I could stop here. Stop. Yeah, we gotta grind that rail. We'll do it on a different run, because it's super hard. Can't believe I missed the T. Usually the hitbox on that is surprisingly generous. Barely miss it again. Just scraped right by it. And missed it by a mile. Okay. So that's worse than I expected for our first run of the downhill jam. Just call it quits by crossing the finish line. Take another go at it. A run of this level can go very good or very bad. There's rarely any in between. There you can see just how generous the hitbox on the letters are. Back up to this awful area. Getting way too much speed. Absolutely out of control. There we go. Now for the difficult letter, which is the E all the way at the end. We need to get a very specific angle, and there it is. That can be very, very troublesome. I'm glad it wasn't this time. Now apparently I can't fall down off this ledge. That's news to me. I guess I never tried before. It sort of makes sense that there would be an invisible wall there, because it is technically partially out of bounds. Just awkward to find that out. Then we have to do our score grinding, get up to 40k again. They didn't increase the point values required for the pro tape between this level and the last one. Mercifully enough. does it. Now we gotta just get the valves, and of course, the hidden tape. Transmissions coming from the southwest, 3 more tapes to go. That's another thing I really like about the presentation in this game. They've got those little hints at what you're about to unlock as you collect more tapes that are very entertaining. Add just a little bit of flavor, keep you invested as you're making progress. So far, so good. Kill our momentum. Line ourselves up with this pole here. Still not perfectly aligned, but the controls are very twitchy, so I'll take what I can get. Can't believe that didn't count. Ah well. We'll get our valves, and then we will reset the level. Try again for that hidden tape. It's super hard. There are 2, maybe 3 things in this game that are disproportionately difficult compared to absolutely everything else in the game. Most of this game is quite easy. Getting this one hidden tape is very, very difficult, comparatively. But it must be done. The hidden tape in the next goal-based level is also fairly difficult. And then the final competition is also extremely hard. What? Shocking that didn't count. And the worst thing about getting this hidden tape is the amount of setup required. It takes a good 30 seconds just to get to the area where you need to be. Very high value gap there. Good for your score grinding, if you're a character who isn't Tony Hawk. There we go. Finally hit the pipe. Gotta stay on this pathway. Just barely did it. Had a little too much speed, now I don't have enough speed. Might have enough speed now. Can we do it? Yeah. That is very, very difficult. I've had tons of practice in order to be able to do that at all. So I'm happy I was able to do it in a relatively expedient manner. Hopefully that was watchable. I had to retry 3 or 4 times there. And hey, we're 1 tape away from the final competition. Only 1 more required tape in the entire game, and there are still 3 entire levels left. They obviously left that final tape necessary so that you couldn't just entirely skip any of the levels. You have to get at least 1 tape from every level in order to get the 26 required for the final competition. Which also checks that you have done the second to last competition here in Portland. This, unfortunately, is my least favorite competition. And I would say my least favorite level in the whole game. It's a skate park. If you're a street skater, you might have more fun here. But as a vertical skater, all you can do is go to this bowl back in the corner and then do tricks. That's your lot in life. Fortunately, the required point values are not that high. So I wasn't even close to landing that. How high do my stats have to be before that thing will land? Shocking. You'd think it would be so much easier to do a 900. course, doing a 900 is preposterously difficult. Something no human should actually be able to do. Tony Hawk was the first human to ever land one. And fun fact, he did that in August of 1999. And this video game that we are playing, starring Tony Hawk, was first released in September of 1999. Either having the 900 in this game was aspirational, or they chucked it in at the very last minute after Tony Hawk did that inhuman feat to celebrate his very, very impressive accomplishment. You can get a little extra height by using Coyote Time, which, if you're familiar, is the ability to jump slightly after you leave the edge of a platform. You do have about half a second wherein you can jump and use that increased height to get a little extra distance. That's sort of necessary to land a 900, apparently. And in the second game, it's necessary for a lot of things, but we won't worry about that. Here in the first game, it is merely a feature. So, Wreck 5 Cop Cars is the unique collection goal for this level. When you do that, it has a bright screen flashing effect. And the first cop car is right over here. So, brace yourself, probably look away for a second as I do this. And that fading out siren sound means you can look back. The flash is over. Second cop car right over here, though. Brace yourself. Then we'll head over here where there are 2 more. Watch out. And the second one. Second one. There we go. You don't actually have to grind the car. If you just jump up and land on the siren on top, it will smash and count as wrecking the car. Which is pretty neat. One last cop car right up ahead. And there we go. Now I will never have to cause that horrible screen flashing effect again. In the meantime, let's see if we can get to the secret tape in the remaining 40 seconds. It's gonna be kinda tight, because this is a very awkward secret tape. Hidden tape. I believe future games renamed it to the secret tape. But in the first game, it is the hidden tape. I like our odds. Yeah, got it. That can take a lot longer than it just took. I'm surprised I got it in one try. It can also take a very, very long time just to figure out how to get to it. Finding this ramp inside the statue. It's all very weird and designed to pad out the length of this very short game. But we got a required tape to unlock Roswell. Only 3 more tapes remain in the entire game. Let's get them. Retry. So we gotta collect skate, and we gotta get our score goals. But like I said, no more screen flashing. PS1 games tended to be inaccessible with horrible screen effects like that. And Genesis games were often worse. most future video game console generations took pains to permit accessibility and not blind their poor players. PS1 was one of the last console generations that did that to people. Still missing the S. The letters are laid out in an awkward way. We'll see when we actually get to the S. It is kind of in the last place you would check in the level. There's no real convenient way to get the letters in the intended manner. Luckily, the order you get them in doesn't matter even slightly. It is quite possible to get the 5 cop cars and the skate letters in a single heat by using that kicker. But now I need to jump back up the stairs that I keep bumping into. There we go. One more tape down, and we'll just restart the level, because I don't have enough time to get my score goals. All these tapes, as are collectible in this game, I've read that they were inspired by the stars in Super Mario 64. Which makes sense. Super Mario 64 just came out 3 years before this game? Yeah, thereabouts. And that was a very, very satisfying way to lay out your game. So it was well worth ripping off here in Tony Hawk. And not that they did rip it off, because their take on the whole star system is very, very different. The fact that there's only one collectible tape just hidden in a level, in each level, that goes to show how different the whole system is. Most of the time you have to actually do some kind of awkward thing to be eligible for your tapes. So close. We definitely have maxed out stats now. I think 24 tapes get you the final stat upgrade. So at this point, no matter what character we were playing as, we would have the same maxed out stat points. Oh, we can never change our specials, so we would still only have Tony Hawk's iconic moves. And also, only Tony Hawk can do the 900. Which was, I guess, actually canonical to real-world circumstances at the time. Uh-oh. Did we make it? Are we... Oh, we just barely made it. Another photo finish. And we got all the tapes? Our reward is getting arrested by Officer Dick. No time to worry about that, though. We are moving on to the final competition. We've got every single tape in the game, just gotta get the last gold medal. And our job here will be done. And of course the game ends in Roswell. Very fitting. Good climactic location to have in a game, especially in 1999. The peak of popularity for the X-Files. I was certainly very excited the first time I unlocked Roswell. And then I got stuck here for a very long time, because this level is disproportionately difficult. Gaps here are very useful for getting extremely high point combos. And, I'm surprised I didn't bail there. However, the points we have right now are kind of pathetic for being halfway through our allotted time. I don't like the look of this heat so far. It's looking a little better now. Oh, okay, we're restarting. That did not go so hot. So what you want to do is right off the gate, get your special up. That should do it. Then do this for 14,000 points. That's how you get off to a good start. Again, shocking I landed that. But you do not want to bail ever when you play this competition. Not only are the judges much more harsh here, but they are much more generous to the other skaters who are skating off screen right now. They will score in like the mid to high 90s. Whereas if we got a 91, we would have been guaranteed a gold in the previous competitions. That is certainly not the case this time. Boo. Are they gonna... Okay. Only gave the other skaters a 90. We still can make this. We must make this. Plenty of airtime there to get our McTwist. There's a gap over this way. I'll try and show off. I've actually tried to show it off several times at this point. Ah, the channel gap. Another one here if you jump over the roll-in, it's called. That curved platform that we came in on. Go for another McTwist over here. Another 10,000 points. But my overall point value is not so hot. Let's see if this does it. It should get us into the mid-90s. Maybe it'll be enough. Low mid-90s. Yeah. The judges are surprisingly harsh to the other contestants today. Don't know why. But I appreciate it. So he probably won here. Just not gonna land that 900. We'll take a quick look around. Helicopters here. Secret black helicopters in our final level. Oh, there's something over there. That's interesting. Let's see if we can't check that out. Ooh. Oh no, indeed. Alien autopsy. We've walked right into. And back out here. And if we go back in... So if we take another entrance, we'll find a secret bowl somewhere. Anyway, I guess we win the competition. We've probably seen all we need to see of Roswell. There is technically another secret area. But right now they want us to watch skaters getting hurt. I'm not gonna show that off. For one thing, it has licensed music, and for another, it's people getting hurt. We've all seen enough of that in our early internet video days. But hilariously, after they show you that video of skaters injuring themselves, they give you the text, get off your couch and go skate. As though they've just incentivized you to go do that to yourself. Just horrifically injure yourself, as most beginning skaters do many, many times. But since we have completed the game with all 3 gold medals, we do get a bonus video of Tony Hawk doing some tricks. The angles are not very flattering here. You could find much better footage of Tony Hawk doing cool stuff. But yeah, it's neat. Always fun to see. And you unlock a different one for each skater you play through as. It's cool to see what all the actual pro skaters look like doing their thing. But that's enough of that. We've completed the game. That means roll credits. Take a celebratory sip of my beverage for a job well done. Like I said though, this is a very easy game. I'm not even all that good at it, and I just pretty much knocked it all out in under an hour. It's one of the things I like about it though. Very, very fun, not very demanding. Definite focus on being enjoyable over having lots of content and lots of challenge. It's the sort of thing I can just pretty much any time sit down, play through beginning to end while listening to some music or a podcast or something. Have a damn good time. Even to this day, like, it's definitely clunky, this PS1 version. But you get used to the clunkiness of it very, very quickly. It's still a very smooth game. A lot of PS1 games are nowhere near this smooth. The feel of this game is excellent. They did a really, really good job from a design point. They did kind of have to rush it as far as content. They definitely wanted there to be a lot more in this game. And like I said, I'm fine with the lack of content overall, but the developers themselves were not so happy, and I'm sure many of their gaming audience would have been happy to have a lot more. So in future games, they got a lot more. I will hopefully be seeing you for future games. I'll definitely be making videos about them. I certainly hope you'll join me, because future Tony Hawk games are worlds different in very interesting ways. But that's it for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. The fun section where we show off all the gameplay. But I did mention there would be the dark side of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which we would be delving into at the end of the video, and that time has come. So, content warnings going forward for discussions of police brutality, sexual misconduct, all sorts of nastiness. As we hop back into the game, we are going to load my main profile and check out the newly unlocked character, Officer Dick. Now, I'm certainly not going to suggest that Officer Dick himself is propaganda of any sort, because this is a very unflattering portrayal of police officers. I don't know why the only unlockable character in this game is a cop, because you generally are pitted against police officers. Skateboarding is semi-illegal, especially in 1999. And we were just wrecking cop cars at the second to last level. Yeah, this is kind of a gross character intentionally. And they do have him played by Jack Black in the most recent incarnation, which dramatically increases his charm and likability, which is not something that was a good idea, to have cops be charming and likable in the year 2020 when the most recent game came out. But here in the original incarnation, Officer Dick is a dick. And he's gross. Look at this. This is more honest than they probably meant, because America is a police state. But the rest of his boards, very unpleasant. They would not make you think highly of police officers. For some reason I have my steering set to medium. That's not what I wanted to show off. Officer Dick as a character, no big problems with him. I don't want to play as him, but he's morally neutral. His specials, however, less so. So major content warning for what I'm about to show off. Very, very disturbing imagery we are about to see. So, once we get our special up, I will unfortunately be able to show off what's wrong with Officer Dick. There's our special meter. Now brace yourself as we watch his grind special. Or try. Here we go. It's called the neck break grind, wherein Officer Dick puts all of his considerable weight onto one knee, implied to be on the neck of a victim of his police brutality. Something that was apparently common enough to just sort of be portrayed as something a police officer would do back in 1999. Absolutely disgusting. Cops are murderers. Yeah, that's not the sort of thing I want to associate with this game. But yeah, like I said, it does go to show how bad police brutality was even all the way back then. That they could just be notorious for that neck-standing move. And there's assume the position, a much less disturbing move. And just for the hell of it, we'll show off his other special. I mentioned that most characters have a backflip or front flip. Officer Dick has a flip special of his own. And that's his final special. Before we end the run there's another reason I brought about Officer Dick, because there's more disturbing stuff here. In the secret hidden corridors of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that most people never saw. So we have to select Officer Dick, go into a level, go into the pause menu, and hold L1, then press triangle up, circle up, left triangle. We will get no indication that anything happened, but something did happen. I hope. Hopefully I did that right. This is the secret way to unlock, well, the cheating way to unlock Private Carrera. Supposedly, if you get 100%, which is to say all golds with every character, you will legitimately unlock Private Carrera. But for obvious reasons, I'm not going to do that. Just going to use the cheat to get the final secret character, which bizarrely is an over-sexualized and specifically noted to be barely legal woman. I don't know how she is a private in, I guess, the Navy or something, if she's barely legal. Did they recruit 18-year-olds? Probably, considering. But yeah, the Activision lawsuit is highly based on their misogynistic actions and attitudes towards women. Dating back decades. I'm noticing that there's actual partial nudity in this character model. I don't know how intentional that is, or if that's just awkward polygons, but yeah. Gross stuff. Let's check out her boards. All of them are dick jokes. Yeah. The boards themselves are fine, the designs on there. Inoffensive. The names of them. Needlessly gross. And we'll take a look at our specials, most of which are entirely inoffensive. Well, 2 of which are entirely inoffensive. Unfortunately, there are 3. It's kind of interesting, though. The hand plant move that I've showed off a few times, you'd have no reason to know it exists. The game never tells you that it exists, and it's not in the manual or anything. But there are hand plant specials in this game, and Private Carrera has one of them. And it's super difficult to pull off. Let's see if I can do it. There it is. Ho, ho, ho. Did not seem very Christmassy, if you ask me. I don't think that's what they were going for. Just to show it off, her other specials are something I have to unlock real quick. I'll do that by doing a sex change. Another move that is cut out of future Tony Hawk games for good reason. That is, for the record, a very, very outdated terminology for gender-affirming surgeries. We don't use that anymore. Please don't say those words unless you know better. And there are her other specials. They're actually kind of boring. Boring is better than gross, though. So yeah, I don't know why Private Carrera exists, but she's kind of an iconic part of the series. She's in just about every game. Wish she wasn't. But that also goes to show that the Activision bad attitudes towards women and their discriminatory behaviors, they date back decades, just like the police brutality issues. And someone at Neversoft was very much involved in and complicit in those long-running issues. So yeah, kind of some unfortunate things I wanted to show off at the end there. I was morally obligated to show those off. But just so we don't end things on a complete bumper, let's just watch this video, at least part of it. It's got some amazing skateboarding footage that should not have been humanly possible. Kind of puts into perspective the stuff that happens in this game. And T-posing to assert dominance, that's always worth checking out. Apparently that was a thing back in the 90s, to my surprise. And a small clip of Tony Hawk's famous 900. There we go. Little palate cleanser there at the end. Gotta love the ridiculous Tony Hawk physics that, when you compare them to actual skaters, are surprisingly not ridiculous. And that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. Ridiculously fun game. Has a little bit of darkness hidden in the corners that most players will absolutely never see. And that's all we needed to see of this first game. See you in a future video for more of the later Tony Hawk games. Thanks for watching.